Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending when or where you are in the world. My name is Witch Dragon, and I am here to explain a little bit about Otherkin and therians. Otherkins basically believe they are non-human in some way or another. It could be a combination of all reasons, such as, reincarnation, some sort, or born in a different wrong body, etc. Or just believe they have a strong connection or affinity to mystical beings. Basically, that is it. That is the short, rough explanation of Otherkin. Some even believe it's genetic. I'm one of those people, but again, I'm making this as short and a easy explanation as possible. Basically, there are many, well, I mean not that many, but enough explanations and definitions that explain why someone is the way they are. Physically, we are human, but yet something inside us is non-human. And that is the best way I can explain it, and I hope that doesn't sound too RPG-ish, but that said, it's basically a rough definition of what Otherkin is when it comes to that. Basically many, or at least a good amount, believe it's a past life thing solely or other reasons. Basically you'll get debates on that. Basically, there is no real right or wrong answer when it comes to that. It depends on the person, it depends on what you think. I, of course, on the other hand, believe it's many, if not all, things. But that's me. Now, I'll also list different kinds of otherkin correction in a minute. Therians, on the other hand, are slightly different. They, if I'm not mistaken, for the most part, if I'm correct, most therians don't believe it's a past life thing. Rather, it's a current thing. They just have the spirits of the animal they are. I even think some other kin believe that too. But again, that's pretty much, I think, a slight difference. Now, explaining what different kinds of otherkin there are dragons, angels, phoenixes, gargoyles, other wing-type beings, depending who you talk to, fairies, what else is there? Even some unicorns, although I don't think that's necessarily that common, but could be. Even other beings I can't remember at the moment. Griffins, particularly. It's a little more popular. When I mean popular, it's a little more common. Stuff like that. People, mermaids, mermen. And that's pretty much what I can remember. There's others, of course, in the mystical department, but that's just pretty much the gist of it. Therians, on the other hand, are animals. Well, not animals, I'm sorry. People who have animal spirits or some type of animal inside them. And of course, this is my definition, so please don't take this 100% literally. Keep that in mind. Who are basically therians or wares, but most people like to be called therians at this point. Basically have animal spirits who are either wolves or felines. Basically, to explain felines would be cats, domesticated cats, tigers, panthers, pumas, lions, I think even Bengal white tigers, actually. Again, to explain a few of the feline persuasion, and none are limited to that, of course. Basically, other, even some chipmunks, although it's probably not as common, but still, pretty much could happen. Avians, such as falcons, hawks, eagles, doves probably. Although I never met a dove therian, but doesn't mean they're not real. Doesn't mean I never heard or never met one. Okay, what else? Basically, any of the avian department. I can't remember all of these offhand, so I do apologize. Please keep that in mind. I don't know everything, and some of this is, what I said earlier is partly my own opinion. So, I encourage you to form your own, etc. Even if you don't agree with me, that's great. Just think of this as a stepping stone to learn about Otherkin and therians. Okay, trying to think if I can think of any other therians that would make sense. Bear therians are definitely, around. And even some say dragons can be therians, but I'm not sure. That gets debatable all the time, so again, I guess one will have to make up their own mind on that one. But try to think of any more other therians, animal-wise, that I can think of that may help you give an idea. Basically, any animal that's currently alive could be therian, or rather, the person could have that animal spirit in them, if that makes better sense. Anyway, so in closing, basically, therians primarily are animals, or rather people who have the animal spirit of animals that are currently, and probably even past, being alive. Otherkin typically, and again, this is all debatable sometimes, so, keep that in mind too. The Otherkin primarily are mystical beings that are either astral or was visible to normal human beings at one point or another. When I say normal human beings, let me explain. I should say mundane, because most Otherkin and therians are normal everyday people. They just happen to be non-human in some way. Whether a mixture of all the other things I've said, or one or two. And Otherkin have very vast beliefs that are similar, even probably rarely identical to each other, or very, 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 very extremely different from one another. Some probably who are watching who are Otherkin probably are disagreeing completely with what I'm saying, and that's great. I think that's what makes the world go round. And there are some who probably do agree with me. Now, I hope this video has helped in some way, shape, or form explain a little bit more about Otherkin and therians. Thank you for your time, and I hope this was clear, and I hope this helped to explain a little bit more about us, or at the very least, start a dialogue. Start talking, start that spark to look for answers. And again, as always, and I'll say this again, I do not know everything. Some of what I'm discussing is part of my own personal opinion and should not be taken as fact. Now, if you find the answers that may coincide with what I say, great. If not, that is fine too. Always remember, find your own truth. Let this be an inspiration thing to spark your own research. And I can't think of anything else. And if you hear something going by, there's probably a truck going by. Just figure I'd tell you. Thank you for your time.